Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and we're back with a short video. I've basically got 20 minutes free here, so I thought I'd try to crack on with a couple of blitz games after my rather embarrassingly poor, rubbish performance of late. I thought I've just got to try to prove to myself I can actually still play blitz, maybe? Let's see. So I'm just going to see if I can get a couple of games here and see. And the idea, I'm going to try out some spicy openings in any game that I can maybe get my hands upon here. So that's the idea anyway. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So I've got some Grandmaster from, is that, I was going to say Serbia. It might be Croatia. Serbia, I was right. Okay. And let's just see how I get on. And you can see my rating. I nearly got it back to 2,500 yesterday, where I actually was playing okay. So I'm going to have another punt at this against Mr. Vodojal. Is that how you say it? I'm not sure. Okay, but his rating's quite low for a GM, isn't it? It's a bit worrying. And all I'm going to do here is try to checkmate him. Normal plan here. Go for the H7 pawn, castle queenside, and get my pieces rolling up the board. So can I castle queenside here? This is the move I wanted to play. Well, let's try it, because I got some pins against his queen in the ensuring position. So this is a move that I certainly want to play here, when I don't think he can win a pawn here because of his queen position. And of course I got some pressure on the D file here. Maybe though queen b6 is quite a good move in this position. And then maybe I can go queen e4, something like that. Queen b6 looks good. Getting the queen off the pin, attacking my rook. I may even be able to sacrifice a pawn then with rook d1, giving up this e pawn with a rook h4 coming in, something like that. It's quite interesting as well. So let's just see how we get on. So I'm just going to play two games, I think, here, just to give you a short, quick video. Oh, I'm so near to getting to 2,500 again. I can slowly feel my form coming back again. But it is a little bit slow, I have to say. Okay, so what do? Queen e4. Or do I place a queen e4, knight here, and then something like queen d3? Looks quite natural, actually. Maybe this is a bit more of a sensible way to play the position. When I just want to get my rook to d1 next, and all my pieces seem incredibly well centralized here. So I should be quite happy with my knight on e5. Okay, my opponent I didn't think he'd do that. He's really trying to grab this pawn. That looks very greedy, his way of playing now. Now I can just go here and take this bishop. I've also got exciting ideas like rook here, swinging it across. That looks very tempting, doesn't it? But then he's got a queen. No, he hasn't got queen e3. Let's play this one, because it's quite useful for me to stop a queen coming to e3 check and the queens being exchanged. Something after like rook takes here. Maybe I don't even move my rook on d3 quite yet, because it covers this one. Okay, so I can understand my opponent didn't grab that pawn. It seemed very tough. And now even the endings are bad, because his bishop on this square is... let's play the ending, because I'm just thinking the bishop on c8 is really struggling to find a way into the game. So actually now, with a strong knight in the centre, he probably has to rely on the move f6 or f5. Okay, so his bishop is trying to come in like this. And that makes a lot of sense. Now... Okay, so I'm going to try to meet that with a rook d7 and play this opposite colour bishop position. Because I'm still slightly better here, because his c-pawn is weak and I have an active rook on d7. So even here, even though it's opposite colour bishop, I quite like this position now. And my rook's not doing much, so I'm going to try to bring it back to double up here on the d file. And now he wants to go rook here. This is his idea. So how do if I want to win this, I want to avoid exchanging too many pieces off the board. More exchanges that are made. I have to be careful of my clock, actually, don't I? I forgot about this. Well, I might have to allow one exchange, and I've got to move quick, of course. And okay, let's just play this one. Ensure my pawns are safe. And now it could just be down to the time situation. So, got to speed up a little bit here, as always. Okay, now I'm going to secure the b5 square for my bishop. This is one way to do this. It's a nice square for my bishop, guarding my rook. And now I want to put my king on c4 next. This will be stage 2 of my plan. At some point. Oh, he's giving up a pawn here. Well, I will have that. At least it gives me a pawn advantage now. Always have b3, so my bishop is safe. If you give me a pawn, I will take your pawn, sucker. Okay, now, does he want to go rook d8 and try to get a... Okay, of course, you have to keep the rooks on in these positions if you want to have realistic hopes of winning. I've got to stop rook d2 there. Maybe his idea was quite clever. And you can see now he wants to play rook there. And that is... Okay. Time, Simon, time. This could be decided on the clock. So why am I playing so slowly then? And now he's very nicely got his rook into the game. So I'm not playing this particularly well, am I? No. Okay, well, let's hustle him. Oh, come on, he's hustling me. Can't do this. I'm hustling you, aren't I? Aren't I? Oh, no, it was a check with the bishop. Ah! We didn't see it. Good. Whew. That was a lucky escape, wasn't it? And now, okay. Well, no, don't do this. You're playing too quick. But I'm quicker, am I? No, I don't want to draw. I don't want to draw. Don't want to draw. Don't want to draw. But it's probably better than losing, isn't it? It's probably better than losing. Is he going to take that one? Okay, now I'm in. Now I'm in. It's my idea. And we're in. We're in. The eagle has landed. The eagle has landed, sir. The eagle is landing. Ah, the eagle landed. Well, that was a little bit dirty, wasn't it? But not that dirty. I mean, I think I can play on at the final position, as we see. As soon as I get through to f7, I have some good possibilities there. You know, and he was a bit short on time. People say, well, you know, time's part of the game, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't move quick, then you don't, you know, you're going to lose. Actually, I've got to take a picture of this because it may be the first time I've ever played on chess.com when, check it out, look at that, look who's the top title player. Woo, woo, it's the sound of the GingerGM. Woo, woo, it's the sound of the GingerGM. There we go. I like that. We've got to keep it like that. Thank you very much. Someone's telling me now also make more YouTube content. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing now. That's what I'm doing now, son. Doing now, you know, that's why I'm here. And that is try and keep me. Okay, so we just want to get one more game and only a quick session today. And if I can get anyone to play me, obviously, clearly everyone's running incredibly scared. You know, in the house of the GingerGM. The house of the boiling sun. Okay, well, let's maybe, while we're waiting for a game, maybe we can actually analyse that a little bit, because that's one thing I'm not doing so much now. And, or do we have a game? Okay, now we'll analyse this. So, the game started with this opening on knight bd7, which is not so normal. And I always try to put my bishop on f4 in the Queen's Gambit positions, because on f4 I feel like it's very useful diagonal later on. The other way you can put it is on g5, but then often a lot of exchanges happen. So I like my bishop on this square. And now my opponent grabs this pawn here, and his point is often to go c5 and attack d4. So an aggressive way to play this would be a pawn to e4. But pawn to e3 is a nice solid way to play, where I'm simply going to take my pawn back and have more pawns in the centre. Nice development. Now here, I don't mind him doubling my pawns because it gives me the e5 square as a nice outpost for my knight, and I've got better development. So now I'm going for aggressive attacking play. Maybe here, of course, I should just play some sensible move like queen e2 and rook d1. But I like the idea of getting my queen on this diagonal. And this looked like a super aggressive idea, trying to use my development advantage, because look at his bishop on c8. And one thing I think I'm quite good at, and one thing that generally good attacking players are good at, when you have a development advantage, you've got to look for speed. There's no point messing about slowly. Play with speed. So quick, bang, bang, bang. That's why in this position, castle and queenside makes a lot of sense. And now, when he takes on d4, okay, again, we see this pin against his pieces. So I think I'm doing well here, but queen b6 was played. And in this position, I was actually considering now sacrificing a pawn with rook d1. So what was this like? Let's say I play this. He takes on e5, takes here, and now I go rook h4, threatening mate on h7. And the point is, I still have some play, because I'm still stopping his bishop developing to d7. But I'm not convinced it's enough after the simple move g6, because his bishop can come back to g7 and safely defend his king. So that doesn't look too convincing to me. So queen e4, if you think you have a good position anyway, why bother sacrificing? I do sacrifice sometimes without a good position, in a good position, but generally that's a bad thing to do. Only sacrifice in a position where, it's maybe like, you're not, things are not going right. I don't need to sacrifice here. Let's keep control. So my opponent now took this and went here, and this was very interesting because I had a couple of possibilities. Knight to a4, the first move that sprung to mind. Bishop d3, the next move that springs to mind. And rook d3, another move that springs to mind in this position. So what about, if I go bishop d3, I assumed he had to go g6. And the point is now, I have to really move my rook, I think. I mean, I could go knight to a5 here and take this one and go rook c4 with some play. But it's not clear how I'm getting through to his king with a pawn on g6 here. So this doesn't look so good. So the way I played it makes sense with rook d3 trying to come across here. Now if he grabs this pawn, I was going to at some point go rook to h3. I don't know if I play it now. There's no need to rush because he still can't develop. The sensible move would be to get my last piece into the game first. What is my opponent's move? Even when you're attacking, you have to consider your opponent's moves, and it's not clear how he gets his bits into the game here. And I'm going to try to go rook here later on. I mean, I could try to win straight away. Rook here, g6, and now queen to f4. And the point is my queen tries to come into h6. And compared to the last line, his bishop on f2 is not in a good defensive square. So very risky for him to take that. Also, after queen to f4, I make way for my knight to come shooting into his weakened f6 square. My opponent did not take that. He played instead queen c6. Now, I think this ending should be good for me, so it makes sense to play this. But around here, maybe I'll have a more simpler method of playing. I mean, rook d1 can't be a mistake. Well, maybe I should go rook d1 here, get my last piece into the game. I mean, the way it went in the game, it turned into a bit of a blitz, kind of random, should we say, crap shot here, when anything's possible. I mean, probably I should be playing a bit more aggressively of like g4 and f5 here. This is a much better way to play, trying to open up my bishop towards f7. I won't bother looking at the rest of it because let's just say it was a bit of a random punt and anything kind of could have happened there, and we just played on time. But that's kind of the issue with these 3-minute chess. Okay, just a quick video today. I've got some work to do. I've got to go up to London now, so I will be back again with some videos very shortly, hopefully, even though I'm going away tomorrow to the London Classic, so it might be a bit of a wait. Maybe I'll try to get one more done later on. Thanks for viewing, and please like and subscribe, tell your friends about it, and check out GingerGM.com and buy a DVD.